This week, I'm exploring something we all struggle with in some way: procrastination. Procrastination is nothing new. You might even be watching this video on procrastination while you're procrastinating. And it is very easy to think that procrastinate because we're lazy or we lack discipline. But according to research, there's another reason for why we procrastinate. I advise you watch this video till the end because I'll be taking you through actionable steps you can take to eliminate your desire to procrastinate. These tips worked for me, and I believe you'll find it helpful as well. So let's get into it. So, what is procrastination? Procrastination is the habit of delaying an important task, usually by focusing on less urgent, more manageable, and more enjoyable tasks instead. It comes from a Latin word, pro, meaning forward, and crastinatus, meaning till the next day. Procrastination is an ancient problem. The ancient Greek philosophers even had a name for it, akrasia, which means to act against our better judgment by doing one thing even though we know we're supposed to be doing something else. What is going on in our brain that causes us to avoid the things we should be doing? According to research, procrastination reflects issues of time inconsistency and emotional management, which refers to the tendency of the human brain to value immediate reward rather than future reward. When we procrastinate, it's because of the feeling of "I rather feel good now." So I want to spend a little bit of time now to take you through 5 underlying reasons why we procrastinate. Because to overcome procrastination, we need to understand why we might be feeling this way. The number one reason why we procrastinate is the fear of failure. Have you been so afraid at failing at something that you rather not try it at all? You might procrastinate when you feel you might fail at something or when the outcome might not be so perfect. By not acting, you don't put yourself in the position of potential failure, so you are safe. You have intrusive thought telling you are not going to pull this through, you're a failure. The truth is, you've not also taken any action which is useful for growth. The feeling of inadequacy will hold you back. It took me quite some time to get off the merry-go-round of perfectionism and realize that failure is not a bad thing. It's okay to fail. The second reason why we procrastinate is the avoidance of judgment. You might be someone who constantly seeks social validation and approval. If this is you, then you might procrastinate from doing something that will put you in a position to be criticized or judged by others. The third reason why we procrastinate is the fear of success. Oh yes, this is a real fear. With success comes fame, being the center of attention, and an increased amount of scrutiny from other people, which means increased pressure to perform. You're afraid of succeeding because you feel you will not meet the standards of everyone and their expectation, and you will eventually let everyone down. Luke 12:48 says, "For everyone to whom much is given, from him much will be required. To whom much has been committed, of him they will ask more." So it's biblical and natural for people to expect more from you when you're succeeding. Number 4 reason why we procrastinate is impulsiveness. This is the most common, where you are distracted by everything and everyone. It could stem from the fact that you're not just particularly engaged in the task. You're not interested, it's boring. No time pressure, so you don't feel the urgency your brain requires to be able to focus with high attention. As humans, we tend to work well when we have a deadline, or better put, when the deadline is about to hit. You remember your high school and college assignment? Yeah, that's it. Last reason why we procrastinate is resistance and rebellion. This is common for people who don't enjoy their work. When you feel forced to do something you inherently don't want to do, you resist it. You put it off. In all of this, what you're procrastinating from is not the task itself. It's the associated feeling you've attached to the task. You are avoiding the negative, uncomfortable, and unpleasant emotion that comes from doing that task. Okay, I hope that clears up why you might be procrastinating, because it's important to always start with self-awareness. Now, let's talk about how you can actually beat procrastination. Number 1 on how you can beat procrastination is to change your internal dialogue. When there is something you want to do and you procrastinate, what sort of thoughts do you have running in your mind? So easy to beat yourself up when you procrastinate and reinforce negative internal dialogue. Oh, I'm lazy. Oh, I'm useless. What's the point? Have compassion and be kind to yourself. Instead of self-judgment and self-criticism, forgive yourself for all the times you've procrastinated and for the times you're going to procrastinate in the future, because even though you're watching this video on how to beat procrastination, we all slip off the bandwagon sometimes. It's about having a growth mindset that is open to improving and learning. Number 2 on how to beat procrastination is to eat that frog. Mark Twain once said, "Eat a live frog first thing in the morning, and nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day." This next step is inspired by Brian Tracy's self-help book, Eat That Frog. 21 great ways to stop procrastinating and get more done in less time. Tracy's premise is simple. You should tackle the hardest and most important tasks on your to-do list first every morning, with a live frog being a rather disgusting metaphor for your biggest and most important tasks of the day that you're likely to procrastinate on. Tracy advocates that you should always attack this one first. The next step on how you can beat procrastination is to plan every day in advance and set realistic goals. Break down your tasks into small chunks and make a good plan. Let's say you plan to hit the gym the next morning. Get your gym clothes and equipment in place and resist the temptation to surf the net all through the night. Go to bed early. Set realistic goals, because when you take action and achieve even a tiny goal, your brain releases dopamine, which helps you repeat the action. When you set unrealistic goals and unrealistic expectations, it leads to disappointment. And big life disappointments usually leads to procrastination or giving up. We all have big dreams, but life has its limitations, and we must make sure not to get caught up in the narcissistic grandiosity driven by unrealistic expectations as to how fast we can achieve something. Slice and dice your goals into smaller chunks and plan every day in advance. That's how you beat procrastination. Number 4 on how to beat procrastination is to apply the 80-20 rule to everything. The 80 and 20 rule, otherwise known as the Pareto principle, is one of the most helpful concepts when it comes to life and time management. The Pareto principle states that 20% of your activities will account to 80% of your results. The key to following the 80-20 rule is to identify that roughly 20% of your actions or most productive tasks that will yield the most success. Focus your energy on high-value tasks. You can apply the 80-20 principle at home, at work, in your relationship, and in your personal life. So, have you read this book? Number 5 on how you can beat procrastination is to establish a routine based on your energy level. We all have different energy rhythms. Some of us work better in the morning, some in the afternoon, and some at night. I work better in the morning, though for the past few months I've had to work better in the morning, better in the afternoon, and better at night. Oh yeah. Once you've decided on when you have the most energy, this is when you focus on the tasks that you're likely to procrastinate on. Do your less preferred tasks when you're feeling the best. Number 6 on how to beat procrastination is to ignore the noise. Distractions are never more tempting than when you are looking for a reason not to do something. A notification from your phone, a call from a friend, a knock on your door. Put the phone away and do what you have to do to minimize distractions. But it's not just the external distractions that we have to battle with. Sometimes the most powerful distractions are up here in our minds. So this is what you can do. Keep a worry book or a distraction list. I do this. The moment you notice you're getting distracted by a thought, write it down. This allows you to get them off from your head and to your notes. Maybe you can get back to them later or not. This is brilliant for someone who tends to worry a lot or overthinks. Yours truly. Number 7 on how you can beat procrastination is to practice creative procrastination. Learn to put off and say no to low-value tasks so you can concentrate on high-value tasks. This is how you practice creative procrastination. Last but definitely not the least on how you can beat procrastination is to reward yourself. The reward doesn't have to be huge. It can be something simple as buying yourself a drink, taking yourself on a solo date, seeing a movie you've always wanted to see. It doesn't have to be huge. When I complete a huge task or any task at all, this is how I reward myself. I either go out to see a movie alone, or I log into Netflix and watch my favorite drama series I had always wanted to watch. So it can be anything. Just reward yourself. Whatever it is that you do, just reward yourself. Whatever it is that you choose to do, just make sure it's rewarding and not a task. Now you're equipped with the tools you need to beat procrastination and complete that task. Finish that book, write that article, complete that online course. Speaking of online courses, you can get paid courses for free on Coursera. Learn how you can apply for financial aid in this video. If you find value in this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, subscribe if you've not yet. It will make a huge difference. Thank you so much for your time. I will see you in this video as you learn how to apply for financial aid on Coursera and take those courses that you've always wanted to take for free.